So, after being told I would never walk again, um, and that I wasn't supposed to be here, and so on, um, I had to learn how to be a human again. Everything from walking and talking and thinking and eating and why I was getting hunger pains and what they were and what to do about it. And the preacher that comes around to speak. Um, he had asked if there was anything that I would like, if there was anything he could do for me. And through seeing a commercial for the Big Mac, that's what I thought I wanted. And so I asked him, however I could, for a Big Mac. He went and bought it out of his own pocket money and brought it to me. And because of the little breathing machine, it's not a machine, the little tube pump thing, right? Ventilator, I think it is, whatever. They squeeze it and they breathe for you. Because of the tubes down my nose and my throat, I couldn't eat it. It hurt so bad. Um, and I felt horrible. I I learned how to watch TV and learn how to speak from that again. Um, and I always felt a little weird because, like, what if I had, seen something and learned how to speak as a human again from a different language or in some, like, uh, um, let's say, like, if I was talking like Julian Sands did in Warlock, as black as pitch and so on, I'm like, dude, that would be awesome. But that's not what happened. I would have loved that though. I mean, if they had played Warlock and I learned how to speak from Warlock, that'd be so rad. But there was also a bat flying in the room and in the hallway, and a mouse that went under my bed in the Albany Medical Center in upstate New York. Um, I had an aunt and an uncle who came to visit me, and he is now passed. His name is Hope, and her name um, is Kathy, and they bought me a elf doll. It was, the alien life form from the 80s, the TV show. There was a Teddy Ruxpin type version where you put a cassette tape, and I found out later on I could play like heavy metal and I played Ozzy Osbourne and all kinds of things, and like it would actually the ears and mouth, everything moved, and it was really cool. Um, and you could just play the tape. I became a member of the Elf fan club, even, and I still have all that and the t shirts and the dolls. Because I ended up getting the one that was like a Teddy Ruxpin and one that was like a regular stuffed animal because I was a child and I was like really freaked out and I just needed like a stuffed animal or something apparently. Um, I learned that I really liked the taste of peanut butter. I thought peanut butter was like amazing. I mean, that blew me away when I first tried that again, and like I've been a fan of peanut butter since. Um, Learning how to become a human again is kind of weird is really not cool. Um, but some of the things that I had discovered in along that little journey right there, um, music means the world to me. I hear music in my head, and there's times where I'm like, dude, where's that? I know I've got it. I've got it somewhere. Like, is it a cassette or is it a CD? What am I listening to? I can hear it in my head. I hear music, and it's the most glorious music I've ever heard. And I try to play it on guitar. I don't always succeed, but I try and play it. But I still hear music to this day in my head. That's like the most glorious music you could ever hear. I grew up, like I had said, raised in a bar that my grandmother owned in Smyrna, New York. Um, it was called Marilyn's Place after my grandmother. Her name's Marilyn, and she was born in 1922. Um, so, music means a lot to me. It really means a lot to me. And when it comes to what could I leave you with, as in like pearls of wisdom from my experience, learn from my experience, I have stated that, if you know anyone that uses drugs or is that into huffing, anything like that, even just drinking, don't let them do it. Stop them. Don't let them smoke either. Now, I have a lot of physical pain in my body ever since. I grew up with migraines ever since, and luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had any in a very long time. Um, I do still smoke pot because of the pain. I've had doctors tell me not to stop because I've taken all of the prescription painkillers and muscle relaxers and even beta blockers to try and help ease the pain in my body and calm the nerves. And right up to, in the last few years that I've been on medications like Lyrica to help with the fibromyalgia nerve damage pain that I have. Um, I've learned very stubborn. Nobody tells me what I can and cannot do. I'm going to do it, whether you like it or not. I was told I'd never walk again. You don't tell me that. And it didn't take very long of going through physical therapy to learn how to walk again. Along with that little squeezy thing that they pump and that breathes for you, and having the tubes down my throat and my nose, I had had a tube in the right side of my chest here. I still have the scar from the tube that went down into my lungs about a foot. And because of the catheter, when they pulled that out, it really, really hurt. So I went longer than what I should have. I was really afraid of it hurting, so I didn't let them take it out when they wanted to. Um, and there were stitches to hold the tube down, and then the surgical tape over that to hold that down so that I wouldn't accidentally roll over and pull it out. The tube that went down into my lungs was to help siphon out some of the fumes that had accumulated so much that it turned to a liquid inside me. Like I said, came out of my pores and gave me third-degree burns on my skin because I had huffed so much of the gas fumes that it turned to liquid. Um, that's awful. Don't ever let anyone go through this experience. Get them to stop. It's not good. Um, so there was a little girl in the hospital. She had had multiple bypasses at that point. She was like 4 years old, I think. Blonde girl, curly hair, really beautiful. And the tube came out of her breathing machine, and I was able to motion over to the nurses, and get them to help her and plug that back in. So that little girl survived because I was able to somehow help. I'd like all of this information to be of help. I want my whole life to be of help and service to others, which is why I'm a Freemason, and I'm a proud Freemason because of all of the charity that Freemasonry is and does. Um, with understanding what Freemasonry is, you will indeed, if you become a Mason, be very proud. And I know that there are a few people here and there that might, in a way, give Freemasonry a bad name, but we'll just say 99.9% of all the Masons you'll meet are some of the greatest people you'll ever meet in your life. And you really would be to the betterment of having someone who's a Mason in your life and learning from them, even if you yourself don't get to become a Mason or go through to become whatever, right? Um, Learn from them. Ask them all kinds of questions and write them down before you do so you know you've got what you want to ask and everything, like I've said before. And come with us with respect. Now, there is the whole thing of to be one, ask one, and I have always said online, like, don't ask me though. But I've told so many people how to become a Mason and asked along, their little way, please tell me what happens and, let me know how you're doing and I'd like to be involved with your journey, your Masonic journey along the way, and I'll help you as much as I can, whatever. Um, so I want my talking about my death experience in '89 to also be like that, to help people and not harm them. I'm really grateful that I can talk about this and post this up on YouTube. I am also really grateful that they're allowing me to monetize these. Um, Share them with your friends, your family, your loved ones, whatever. Watch them as often as you can. Please feel free to like on the videos, or even if you don't, and like dislike or whatever. I'm not really fond of the dislikes though. Who would be? But please feel free to subscribe. I could use all the subscribers and all the views that I can. And when it comes to little commercials that play, watch those, dude. I could use it. Um, but what could I leave you with in a finalization in the last minute or so of this video? Like little pearls of wisdom that you could take with you or educate yourself and others. I would say that, other than like drugs are bad, please don't do them. Because they work and they can kill you and you may not get to come back. I will say that, when it comes to the one in particular that is marijuana, it is very medicinal and it has helped me along my way since with easing the pain and becoming, a little more mobility wise, fluid and movement versus like, oh, dude, I can't move, my back is killing me or whatever. Um, it's helped me a great deal. I would not recommend anything to anyone, and I don't want to. I don't want you to think that I'm condoning anything. I would like you to understand that I am not doing that. Um, when it comes to having your own personal death experience, I would only hope that you don't go in pain. I have had a lot of my friends and family and so on that have died in pain from whatever way that they've died. And some of them have been pretty tragic and, with various accidents. And I would like for everyone's experience to be painless. And I don't recommend what I did. When it comes to living my life from then on for the rest of my life, you know what I mean? Um, I am doing this series, God Bless Freemasonry, the Quantum Mechanics of Enlightenment and Freemasonry, um, to educate people in all areas of, or little spots and sections on this. I do want to learn how to read Sanskrit and ultimately read the Vedas and any and all religious ancient texts that I can. I would like to read. I understand there's about 90% of the Vedas or, Sanskrit texts that have yet to be translated. And if I could be blessed enough along the way, I would like to be the one to do that for the human race. There is a lot of information that can not only help me along my path in life to live the God realized life of a better person, and not be such a horrible child, so to speak. Um, there's a lot of information contained within Sanskrit texts that it is considered a dead language, and there's about, I'll say a little more than now, 10,000 people left in the world that speak or can read, Sanskrit, and I do want to go to school if need be, which I intend to not only further my Masonic education, but, in learning Sanskrit. And I really hope to be able to translate them. I don't think anyone would be allowed to go to the museums or wherever these are held. You know, the Vedas in particular with Sanskrit are in India, I understand. But if anyone out there can help me, I want to get a hold of all the ancient texts that I can. And I do want to learn Sanskrit, and I do want to translate that, you know, for myself and for others. And hopefully, along the way, we can revive what is a dead language and bring that back to life. And we can all learn from that education in there. I will cover other areas that pertain to this and other subjects, and they are going to be in the playlist for God Bless Freemasonry along with these. And I really hope you enjoy this show that I'm doing so far. And if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to ask. Leave your comments and questions or whatever in the comment sections of the YouTube videos on YouTube themselves. I love you guys. And I really do hope that I'm able to help someone with these videos and dispel a lot of negativity with Freemasonry and be of service to the human race and all of, that. But to really do good for my brothers in Masonry, in our craft, and to, because if you look up on YouTube, you're gonna see, and I know it's not just YouTube, but if you look up on YouTube, you're gonna find a lot of negative videos that are on Freemasonry, which is why I'm doing like a Masonic dictionary kind of deal and doing videos on each thing, um, you know. So like I know Lucy's and the Alpha and Omega and all of that. So that I can educate everyone and you can take your own interpretations of what I've stated and going to, because there's going to be thousands just on what I'm going to consider like a Masonic dictionary or glossary of terms, you know what I mean? You'll have a better, deeper understanding of what it is we are learning as Masons, and you can get a better understanding of the videos and the people that are online, with a lot of negativity towards that they're just uneducated. And I don't mean that as in, a negative way, but through my show here, the series, and all of what I'm going to place in it, you will understand what we learn and why we are proud Freemasons and what we do for people on planet Earth and so on, right? And hopefully along the way, not only will I make some, of my brother Masons proud for the work that I'm doing, but hopefully I can eliminate some of the negativity surrounding Freemasonry, and a lot of the backlash or anti-Masons, however you want to put it, because I've gotten a lot of crap online, and it's just people saying, well, I had questions, and there's no real question there. So I'm a little rude about it when it's coming to me in a negative way, and I'm like, dude, if you really wanted to ask a question, you would have written it down and asked me and presented it to me with a little more respect than you have, and in the form of a question. Because if you read what you have written to me, there's no question to be shown, let alone whether you forgot to put a question mark or not. You know what I mean? All it is a slam, and I don't want there to be any sort of slams on Freemasonry. I want to help eliminate all of that, which is why I'm doing this show and why I am going to do what is considered like a Masonic dictionary of all the terms and educate people, really educate them. You're going to walk away after watching this series and all of the videos at the end, kind of deal. Like, let's say there's thousands. You will understand what a Freemason is, what we do, and why we are calling ourselves proud to be Freemasons. So, I hope all of you have a wonderful day and an even better evening, no matter where you are. If it's nighttime when you see this or it's daytime, I don't matter. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I really hope you have an amazing day, and namaste, which I understand. Namaste is Sanskrit. Um, that's awesome, and God bless Freemasonry. Namaste to you all. I love you. You're my babies. You mean the world to me.